Indianapolis is a really good market. Unfortunately, I think the secret is kind of getting out. So anyway, I think it's a great time to buy in Indianapolis and pay attention to the local data. Don't believe the doom and gloom that's out there on the doom scrolling.
All right, let's jump into the May economic reports for Indianapolis, Indiana. Let's see what's going on economically.
All right, Chris. Well, it would not be a economic report without a couple things. One, article from IBJ, one of my favorite places to get news from, and B, something about the Leap District in Lebanon. So let me share my screen here real quick.
Good. Well, IBJ is a good one because you're getting your money's worth, right? You pay a monthly subscription for that, so you might as well get something out of it.
Exactly. Now it's a tax write-off. There we go.
Nice.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because we have spent so much time on this in previous podcasts, but it's just another announcement. Lilly announces an additional $4.5 billion investment in the Leap District manufacturing site. So this is just continued investment in here. The Indianapolis drug makers' latest investment will be focused on incorporating new processes and designs and technologies with 2 of the 3 previous announced facilities. And the only other thing I want to talk about this was I think hold on one second. It brings the total investment to, I think, Lilly's latest commitment at the Leap District brings the company's total investment there since 2022 to $18 billion. That is insane. In addition to, just in case of a reminder, Meta is also constructing a $10 billion data center there. So lots and lots of economic activity there. I don't want to go into too much detail because we've spent tons and tons of time on that in the past, but just continued investment in that area. You're going to see that area continue to blow up, and that whole kind of corridor is going to continue to grow. The next couple articles that I have are related. Actually, this was the next one I got here is I had this on my, I think, Instagram feed or something. It was one of my maybe my news feed. I was doom scrolling. Is that what the youths call it nowadays? Doom scrolling.
That's what we call it. Yeah, that's exactly what we call it. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so. I was reading this. I was like, I'm going to talk about this in the economic update. So this is, and I think I had these articles in the same day or definitely within the same week, but it was house prices are set to plummet across the country, say experts. And it goes on to say about how prices are going to go down. And I'm not going to read the article, but it's all in the headline here, right? So this is doom and gloom, right? Then I think same week, Redfin predicts a major housing market shift for homebuyers. The real estate technology company notes an emerging trend. So you go read this article, and they're saying that the exact opposite, that the buyer's market is over. It is now coming into a balanced market. And so here's kind of the crux of the article. Buyer leverage in the U.S. housing market has been steadily growing for months, but that momentum appears to be leveling off. The advantage that buyers have enjoyed may have already reached its highest point, according to Redfin. So my point is, and I got a couple more articles here to follow this up to drive the point home, is one, there's a lot of noise out there in terms of people are going to say anything to get you to click on that article for clickbait, right? And you can find anything that you want to. If you want to see that it's going to boom, you can find that. If you want to see that the prices are going to tank, you can find that. The other point is that real estate is local. And so that's the importance of getting local information, listening to this podcast, listening to reading the IBJ, again, staying tuned to your local market. So I kind of want to zoom in a little bit. So those were 2 national things, 2 conflicting headlines for the national market. But what I really want to encourage people to do is to stay local on the information that you get. Make sure that you're getting local information. So Indiana and even Metro Indianapolis area. So I want to zoom into Indiana. This isn't the most visually compelling, but what it says is, okay, so this is April data for Indiana, okay? So what I'm seeing here is this is inventory. Okay, this is sales. Okay, right. We're going to get into rental data later. So this is sales data for Indiana. This is I think done by the Indiana Association of Realtors, and it's just a completely different story. So it's this is new inventory. So we are seeing a lot more new inventory, 14% year over year, an increase, and that is that's good. That means if you're an investor, you got more inventory, you got more choices. New listings, look at this, up 11%. Look at that, it's just climbing. That's the highest we've seen since last year, up 16% month over month. So inventory is building, but what's also building is closed sales. Closed sales are up 3% year over year and up 15% month over month. The other thing that's growing is pending contracts. Look at that, up 8%. And look at the days on the market. So you think, oh, more inventory, less days on the market. No, across the state, the average days on the market is 15 days on the market. That is unbelievable. And it's just gone down since January, which of course we would expect for seasonality, but 15 days is unbelievable. That is so, so good. Months of inventory, we talk about this all the time. This is the absorption rate, 2.2 months. That is unbelievable. And then the last point I want to drive home for the state of Indiana is monthly or median monthly sales price is up 4% year over year, up 2% month over month. So this is just good news here. The market is strong in Indiana. It's not dying off. The other thing I want to zoom in is just one more thing too. We talk about this graphic quite a lot here too, is this is the MIBOR. So we went from the state level and now we're going to the kind of the Metro Indianapolis Realtor Association level. So this is basically Metro Indiana. And the biggest thing there's two big numbers that I want to point out here. Months of inventory. Again, that is the absorption rate. If you stop selling houses right now, how long is it going to take to run through the inventory? That is a 2.0 months supply of inventory. That is technically, by definition, that is a seller's market. Now, it doesn't feel exactly like a seller's market. It doesn't feel like a 2.0, but I'm just telling you the numbers here don't lie. So this is not, the sky is not falling. The prices aren't going to plummet. I mean, we might see some variation here and there, and then look at the days on the market for April, 12 days on the market. That is unbelievable. So don't believe the hype. Don't believe the doom and gloom. Pay attention to the local real estate data and stay engaged. The last one that I have here is from Bigger Pockets. I think a lot of our owners and investors, read here, but this is just kind of another feather in the cap for Indianapolis. And this is builders are building in these 11 markets for a reason. And basically the whole point of this article is that, hey, mom and pop investors may not have all of the research and tools that builders do, but pay attention to what the builders are doing because they do. They don't go into a market for no reason. They spend thousands and millions of dollars of research before they decide to build into a market. And they're basically saying, hey, you can kind of copy them. And it kind of goes on to talk about different suburbs and where builders are putting their money right now. Talks about Atlanta, talks about suburban rentals. And then it says, other strong investments are for those who, with strong housing economies and high housing demand, such as Florida and the Southeast. The Midwest can't be discounted either due to its low prices, high yields, and market stability, which translate to large cash flow. And then it goes on to kind of highlight these 11 markets where builders are. And look at that, boom, Indianapolis in there yet again. So we've seen this time and time again over the past 12 to 24 months where Indianapolis is being highlighted as one of the top areas for buying, building, renting, investing. Indianapolis is a really good market. Unfortunately, I think the secret is kind of getting out. So anyway, I think it's a great time to buy in Indianapolis and pay attention to the local data. Don't believe the doom and gloom that's out there on the doom scrolling.
Valuable information, without a doubt. I have very little to add aside from the boots on the ground. What we're seeing is, you're exactly right. The word is getting out. The number of new investors that are reaching out, looking at picking up property here in the Indianapolis area is overwhelming. So there are a lot of new investors looking at the Indianapolis market because of its affordability and its resilience in its comparison to the overall national market. So
it has it all. It has affordability. You can cash flow and you can get appreciation. It's not going to knock any of them out of the water. It's not going to blow them out of the water, but it's not going to be this roller coaster ride like Florida or California or Colorado or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. All right, that's going to wrap up our economic updates here for May 2026.